How you doing, guys? I wanted to talk about a little bit different topic, and this is the 50th anniversary of Star Trek. So I wanted to talk about that television show and some actually two other shows that had their 50th anniversary. Um, I love science fiction; is one of my favorite genres. Of course, it does have a little bit of technology thrown in there, advanced technology, I guess you could say. Now, I love the original Star Trek. It came out in 1966 for 3 years before it was canceled. I believe it was actually ahead of its time, and what I liked so much about it is they definitely concentrated on the plot and the characters rather than the science. Only sometimes they would throw science in there and technology only if it enhanced the storyline. Um, of course, since then, they've probably had four or five different Star Trek spin offs: Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and so on, Voyager. Um, I'm not big fans of those, and probably people are like, what are you talking about? It's Star Trek. Um, I don't know. It's definitely nothing like the original. I think sometimes they get so into the science and technology that it throws off the plot and the characters. They're going into tachyon fields and blah 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 blah, and it just. I think it loses the audience, and I think they need to really focus on those two things: character and plot, and then science when need to be. That's my thoughts on that. It's not everybody's. Of course, it did break some barriers. First interracial kiss, Lieutenant Uhura, and of course Captain Kirk. Um, I don't know. I think toward the end of three seasons, I think it was kind of so controversial, and sometimes that they kept on putting it at a later time slot, and then they eventually put it in what they called the death slot, where hardly anybody would watch it during that time of day or whatever, or there would be another popular show on at the same time. And I think they were trying to get it canceled for those reasons. But um, I love older shows like that I grew up with. Another show that had its 50th anniversary quite a few years ago, is Doctor Who, which is started in 1963, a British show, and originally started on PBS, or that's where I've seen it. And PBS is more of it's kind of off the direct three channels before cable. Of course, the three regular channels: ABC, CBS, and NBC. ABC, hopefully I got all three of them. And so it was kind of a UHF channel, education type of channel. But they had Doctor Who on every week because it was popular to watch it on there. And then most of their money they get for programming is from donations, and they have a big donation drive every year. And then they show all these Doctor Who episodes. I think, then I went into the Navy, and I missed about 20 years or so of Doctor Who, and then it was canceled. And they had a Doctor Who reboot, of course, using all new special effects. It really blew me away compared to what they had before. The plots were really great. And looking back on some of the older 1980 Doctor Who's, I'm like, as a kid, I was like, did I like this? Because some of it was a little bit, kiddish. Special effects weren't the greatest. I still love it because I grew up with it. And so then they had another spin-off series out of Doctor Who, and Torchwood, which for some reason it didn't last too long, and I thought it was really good too, but I guess it just never caught on. So that lasted maybe 2 seasons, I think. And another show that had its 50th anniversary was Godzilla, and of course I grew up with that, the monster movie. Of course I know it was a Japanese man in a rubber suit, but still, I still love watching the old ones, and of course, they do have some newer ones too. I haven't seen the last maybe 5 years or so, but hopefully they're going to come out with some more. And just not Godzilla. They had Gamera and some of the other monsters, I guess. So another 50 years of great movies to watch. So those are some of my favorite things, which I've grew up with. All three in the 50th anniversary. So that's what I want to talk about. What are your favorite shows that maybe lasted 50 years?